Hello everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Nadia and I like to cross stitch and I like to diamond paint as well. So occasionally you'll see diamond painting videos on this channel, but it's mostly cross stitch. So this week I am actually in the middle of the 24 hours of cross stitch. So this one's going to be a little bit faster. I haven't got my tripod up and lighting sorted and all that, but it is quite sunny outside, so I'm hoping it's going to be okay. I've stitched on quite a lot this week, but before we get into that, I just want to give you a little bit of an update on my Etsy shop, and I want to tell you a little bit of exciting news, so just bear with me for about 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, so the Etsy shop I have temporarily closed, and the reason for this is just mental health reasons and the announcement that I'm going to tell you in a minute. So unfortunately, my shop is in holiday mode on Etsy at the minute, but I don't know how long it's going to be on holiday mode for, depending on how things are at home. I mean, I will talk about the Etsy shop more in my Stitch With Me, because that's where all of the stuff that I talk about that goes on other than cross stitch, that's where I put it, in the Stitch With Me. So if you want to hear a bit more about the Etsy shop, take a look at the Stitch With Me on Thursday. So that's temporary shut, and I don't know when I'm going to reopen it, unfortunately. It could be a month or 2, or it could be 6. And I don't think I'm going to come back to Etsy. I think it will be a case of me opening up my own website type thing and having a link on every video and in my Facebook group. So just to quickly make you aware, I do have a Facebook group. It's called Darkxstitch, but spelt with an X, Darkxstitch, exactly the same as the channel. You're welcome to go and have a look over there for any craft. Doesn't matter if you're not a cross stitcher or you like other crafts, you're welcome to post them there. There's a couple of free cross stitch patterns there in the files section. So when you join, you go like on the front page, you go to the files. There's loads and loads of cross stitch patterns there that you can have for free. And the announcement that I want to make is that my daughter is expecting a child. So she told me the news back in early October, late September time, and I haven't mentioned it because she hasn't announced it on her social medias or anything like that. So this week she found out that she's having a girl, and the baby is due in June, I believe. June or July, I've completely forgotten all of the dates, but that means that I can do a new start. So I've obviously spoken about being on a no-buy before, if you've seen my other videos. I think it was last week I said it, and I already had plans to do a pattern for the baby, I just didn't know the gender. So I want to show you which one I have bought. So here's the mock-up for it. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it through the reflection because the camera is coming through on the reflection. What I'll do is I'll put a picture up on the screen, say here, because on this pattern, on Pattern Keeper, you can't see the back stitch either. So what I'll do is I'll put a picture here. It is by Soda Stitch, and I thought it was quite a kind of gender neutral type of picture, just in case it does happen to be a boy, because you never know, they're never accurate, are they? So yeah, she is expecting a child. I'm going to be a grandmother at the ripe old age of 34 I will be when the baby's here, so it is a little bit weird. I am, because she's a young mother, she's 17, so I am very, very nervous for her and also worried, but I think she'll smash it. She'll be a great mum. So that is one of the reasons why I've shut my shop, and also the homeschooling and everything else. So if you want to hear about it, take a look at the Stitch With Me. So let's get on to the cross stitch. What are we going to do first? Okay, so let's do Lord of the Rings first. And here's what it looks like last week. And here is what it looks like now. Now, do you remember me telling you that I was going to change from up here to what is going on with that? Stay up there. So I moved, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I moved page, so instead of working up here where the brick was, I've come down here, back to where the blue is, and that is because I'm doing the Heaven and Earth Design Sal at the same time as this, and there was an awful lot of brown. I can't really show you because I've bulldog clipped this fabric, but there is a lot of brown on these pages up here, so I decided to come down to the other page and start working from here. So I did 1,191 stitches this week, and that gives me a total of 4.11%, so we're getting there. And I am really enjoying the blues again. It's nice to come back this way. I've got an awful lot of brown in this picture though, coming up like further that way. So as soon as I get out of the brown on the Heaven and Earth designs, probably after this page, I will go back to the top here. Next up, what I want to show you is a new start, which is what I started on the Stitch With Me's. It's the Tomb Raider chart. I finally started it. And this is going to be the permanent Stitch With Me chart going forward. It's also going to be the chart that I do if I ever go live. So I'm kind of contemplating not doing Twitch at all now and staying on YouTube and doing YouTube lives, because it seems like it'll be a little bit more easier for me, for the editing wise and things like that. And then if you miss the live streams, I can then just keep them on the channel in their own separate playlist. But I don't know when the live streams are going to start. I'm not sure when I want to do that, whether I want to wait until my youngest is back in school full time, or whether I want to dedicate, I don't know, one, 2 days a month where I stay up late and do the Stitch With Me's. I know most of my viewers are in America, so if I do it during the day, you might not necessarily be free at that time, because it'll be really early in the morning for you. So it might be a case if I have to do it late at night, but then I've also got to think about the UK people as well. I don't want to do it too late that they're all going to bed. So we'll see. But this is my start. Now this fabric is really, really strange. Somebody did explain it to me before. It's what they use on the Luca S Petite, is it Petite Point kits? It feels like quite plasticky. It's very rough. It doesn't feel like any Ada I've used before, but I quite like stitching on it. It's easy to glide the stitches through. Such a bad way of showing you though, because it's so see-through. Like if I let go of it, look how big this fabric is. If I let go of it, you can see completely through it. So let's see if I can, I'm gonna need to get a bit of board or something just to show you, I think. With this one, perhaps I can find some whiteboard, but I have clipped it up on one side, but it is very, very long. This one is going to be 650 stitches wide and 750 long, I think, but I can't stitch with this on the Lowry stand. It's nuts. So in the end I stitched in hand with the hoop on the Stitch With Me this week, so I do apologise if it doesn't look as good, but the fabric for this is just nuts. I think what I want to do is get some hair clips, because these bulldog clips aren't big enough, and roll the excess fabric up and have like a big hair clip if I can. I've noticed a lot of people do that. I've seen a lot of people use big hair clips, so that might be the way to go, because nothing else wants to hold this. I do actually have a big wooden scroll frame sitting on top of my wardrobe that I did consider getting out for this, but I don't know where I'm going to put it. I've got no space for this great big scroll frame in here anymore. It used to be in this room when there was no desks and things in here, and I had a little stitchy corner with just that green chair, and I'd sit on the scroll frame, but I haven't got the space, so I don't know what I'm going to do with this thing. But I am really excited to be starting the Tomb Raider one, so hopefully I'll find a way to show you this a bit better, because it's so see-through. Oh, I didn't write the stitch count down, sorry, so next time I get this out I will show you the stitch count, and I'll probably show this once a month. So the next one up is Pokemon, and that has been the focus for this month. Every month I have just a focus that I do 3 times a week. Every week of that month. So January is Pokemon, and here's what it looked like last week. And here's what it looks like now. It's getting there, it's getting there. And if you can, is it gonna focus? Yeah, that looks a bit better. It's getting there. So I completely finished Ditto, and then I started working down here. I believe this is part of Lapras, and I'm sure there's another Pokemon here that I think is a monkey. So it's getting there, but I didn't do that many stitches this week. I did take 1 day off from stitching completely this week. So I only did 6 days worth, and it was one of these days that I cut out. So I did 281 stitches this week, and that gives me, I'm at 9.27% on this chart. But it is coming along nicely, and I've got another week or so on this one before the end of January. Okay, so this one is my Long Dog sampler, and I really like this pattern, or the thread that I've chosen. I was a bit nervous about doing a Long Dog sampler because I don't do samplers, but I am really enjoying this. It's something different from full coverage. And I showed it once before, and I was talking about that I accidentally used gridded fabric, so I didn't take a picture of my start, but it was literally just a tiny bit of border, and then I went and washed it because I used gridded fabric like a Wally and used hand-dyed floss, so I was worried that the colours were going to run, so I've completely washed it before I did any more. So this is my official start on it, and here is what it looks like now. Now I really hope that that is coming through. This fabric looks so nice. Not fabric, sorry, floss. Can you see it without my face? There we go. So here is my progress, and I am kind of, with this variegated floss, I'm kind of going all over the place. So I'm not making sure that it matches up. I kind of just want to go crazy and do whatever on this. So there's different, I've been stitching that way, and then I came down and did that way. I've done some diagonal. It's kind of all over the place, and I don't care about it matching. So it's going to look a bit crazy, but I think it's going to look really nice. I'm really excited to get this done, and I want to do a bit more. So I think in the 24-hour cross-stitch challenge, I'm going to pick this one up. I've been spinning the wheel, and the next one it's picked is Intrusive Thoughts. So when I finish that one, I'm going to come straight onto this one and probably spend quite a lot of the time from the 24 hours on this. So you will see it in the video, because what I'm going to do is do a separate 24-hour cross-stitch video, which should go up tomorrow, like the day after this one's been posted, or 2 days after. It just depends on when I can edit the videos together. So yeah, so I have done 413 stitches on this, and that gives me a percentage total of 1.7. So let's do the Heaven and Earth Design sale next. Heaven and Earth Design sale, I am Team Cat, and I stitch this during the day when I'm homeschooling, so 5 days a week I do what I can on it. And here's what it looked like last week. And here is what it looks like now. So, I mean, I am sort of out of brown, but I'm not really. Like, there's still a bit that needs to be doing there. This is the first page. There's still a little bit that needs to be doing there and there. I don't know whether to just go across and do the other two, because you get 3 pages until April. I don't know whether to just go across and do all of the brown and get it out of the way, or whether I should just finish this page and then, because I'm worried about the Lord of the Rings chart being bored of all the brown, but I think I will just finish this page. Obviously I've gone into the second page there, but yeah, it's looking good. Looking very nice. And this top half is faded because I started in 1 strand tent stitch on 28 count fabric, and then I went to 2 strands on the rest of it. So the corner does look a little bit faded, but I'm not worried about it. If you've been here before, I don't care when things mess up. I don't care about fudging things. I stitch for me. I don't stitch for it to be put on display in an art show or whatever. So I don't care about mistakes. I really don't. So to me, that just adds to it. I mean, the Lord of the Rings one was originally stitched 2 strands, half stitch, or 10 stitch on 28 count, and I have since changed that to 1 strand because it was too thick and too much confetti that I couldn't get the needle through. And you are going to see it when I move that hoop, then top 4 pages, I think it's 4, you are going to see that they're thicker than the rest of the pattern, but I don't care. That picture's for me, so I don't care. So what did I say? Did I say how many I'd done? 1,126. I don't have a percentage because I don't have the full chart, so there's no point in giving you a percentage because it'll be wrong. But it is looking very, very nice, and I'm very glad to be coming out with that brown now. So another start that I had this week was the Dark Queen of the Sea. I unfortunately can't track my progress on this one because it doesn't go into Pattern Keeper, it's off paper. And I don't have a start, well, I don't have a before picture because I started it this week, but I did show you the fabric last week. And here is what I got done. You can see that. So, not much. This is one of my actual magnets that I make, the needle minders that I make in my Etsy shop. I just grabbed that. It was one that didn't come out very nice. I do have some that look an awful lot better than that, but yeah, if you want anything like that, needle minders, like handmade needle binders or whatever, while my shop is shut, please join the Facebook group and just pop me a message on there, and we can do it through PayPal. I don't mind selling to people on there, it's just I didn't want to be worried about Etsy orders. So yeah, anyway, back to the stitching. So I don't know how many stitches that was because I can't track it, but boy did that give me a headache. The pattern, I need to figure out a way to blow up the pattern because they've done it over 4 pages and it's just, it's too small. The fabric looks lovely though. It does look lovely. I was a little bit worried that the fabric might be a bit too dark, but I think the fabric looks okay. But yeah, the pattern is spread across 4 pages, and that means that it's too small, and I was giving myself a real bad headache trying to focus. So I don't know, I wonder if I'm going to try and see if I can split, like blow up the pages a bit more and reprint it out so I can actually see. If I can't, I'm going to have to work off my phone and then just mark it down on the paper pattern, because on your phone you can like zoom in on the PDF, but it was difficult. I'm not going to lie, it was difficult to see the symbols. It wasn't difficult to stitch, it was difficult to see the symbols on the paper. And I had my glasses on and the paper like this, and it was terrible. So here it is. One last time. But I'm really excited to get this one started. Don't know when I'll finish. So this one is my 3rd and final start of this week, because technically I started 3 last week, if you count the long dog without the mistake. So this is the Caramia picture. And this is from Gecko Rouge. And here is what I got done. So I did 1,027 stitches, and that gives me a percentage of 0.76%. So this is board like background, and it's all one solid colour. So I did get a fair few. I only did this for 1 day, plus an hour and a half yesterday during the 24 hours of cross stitching. And because it's all background, on the first day that I did this, I got 746 stitches in of just the same colour. So it was pretty easy. I'm doing it on 25 count. The pattern, well, the kit that I bought was 25 count, 2 strands, full cross, but I'm doing it in half stitch because that's just what I like to do. And here is obviously the top of where the rest of the picture will start, but what I'm doing is doing a little bit of background, and then I'm going to start filling in that and then going back to the background because there is a lot and it is the same colour, so I don't want to get bored. But I do really, really love this pattern. It's charted really well from what I can see. Way better than the one that I bought off Etsy, but I will still finish that one. I will still finish it. Okay, and the last one for this week is Venom. So here is what it, no, did I do it last week? Yeah, I did do it last week. So my goal is to finish this one this year, if I can, but I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself. So here's what it looked like last week. And here's what it looks like now. I did 331 stitches this week on one day. So it was a lot of black and then a couple of confetti stitches. And he is now sitting at 19.10%. So I believe last time I think he said he was at 17% or something like that. I think I might even have it on here. Oh no, last week he was at 18.34 and now this week he's at 19.10. So it is coming along quite fast, considering that we're in January. It's coming along. So I'm still going to carry on the same as always with this one, try and do one day a week, and then February is the focus. It's just unfortunate that February's got the shortest amount of days. And this one is for my daughter, so it would be really nice if I could finish this one and the new Soda Stitch one for the baby before Christmas, and then I can give them both a present at Christmas for when they get a new place of their own. That would be the ideal goal, but whether or not that happens, I don't know. Because the baby's first year, like baby's first Christmas, you're not really gonna be getting it much, are you really? It's mostly things that they need. It's not toys that they can play with. They won't even be walking at that point. So yeah, if I can get the picture done and framed and everything, and then this one framed as well, it would be lovely to give them both away together. I am going to go off and go stitch. That is literally what I'm going to do today, is housework and stitch. I will leave the editing for tomorrow, but the 24 hours of cross stitch runs from Friday to Sunday, so it's Saturday now. So I will stitch as much as I can today, edit in the morning tomorrow, and then carry on stitching as much as I can. I think I've only done 5 hours of stitching so far. Oh no, I've actually done 8 hours and 40 minutes stitching. I actually thought it was a lot less than that. So that's not too bad actually. I don't think I'm going to get the whole 24 hours, but there will be, as I said, another video coming out this week, probably Tuesday or Wednesday, of all my progress. I'm just going to put all the clips together just so you can see what I got up to. I have been swapping around and changing patterns quite often, usually every 2 hours or so, an hour and a half or so, but I will be taking a lot more time on the long dog sampler. So what I'll do is stitch the one that the wheel is spun now for about 2 hours, and then I'll go to the long dog sampler for as long as I can, and then with the leftover time tomorrow I might sit and do Venom, because I can't start on the Soda Stitch one just yet because I don't have the item. So if I use up the leftover time on Venom, that might actually be a really good idea. So I will see you next week, unless you watch the Stitch with Me's and the 24 hour of cross stitch. I hope you have a lovely week, and I will see you for a bit more of a slower cross stitch Flosstube next week. Bye bye.